facing the country. Nigerians have called on the federal government to seek foreign help to put an end to insecurity. They made the call today in a chat with IBR's Taiwo Olarewaju. He finds in this report.
Following the call for the resignation of President Muhammadu Buhari by the Northern Elders Forum over his failure to tackle the challenges facing the country, Nigerians have called on the federal government to seek foreign help to put an end to insecurity. However, critics have called on the people to let Buhari complete his tenure, adding that by completing his tenure, the president will be able to conduct elections in 2023. In a move round town, some residents of Ibadan lamented that citizens cannot continue to live and die under the dictates of killers, kidnappers, rapists, and sundry criminal groups that have deprived them the rights to live in peace and security. Speaking with IBR's news crew, a political affairs analyst, Isaiah Aderemi, said now is the time for President Buhari to resign since his leadership has proved spectacularly incapable of providing security.
When you see the state of things are going on, that is their own intention. So one would think that when the northern elders are calling for Buhari's resignation, that means truth will eventually prevail. Because no security, no nation. Wherever there is no security, there is nothing you can do there that can progress. So if they are calling for Buhari's resignation, in spite of either various advices, as northern elder, one would think that they will have actually made a lot of consultations with the president before coming out publicly that he should resign. We even support them a bit, because I could see that about either a few weeks ago, they within from the house or whatever, when they are calling that the defense, the chief of staff should resign. You know, they are calling it, if you want to agree with me, and you know, Buhari is one that appointed defense minister or whatever. So when the things are actually calling, the best person they should actually take responsibility for that is Buhari himself. He should know what to do to make sure that this insecurity problem is nailed in the bud. And they are calling, they say charity begins at home. The northern elders are calling for him, so that's the best thing for him to do.
Similarly, another political analyst, Timothy Umugbojubola, supported the idea of the Northern Elders Forum, saying if the president has integrity, he should resign. He decried that the past administration is not as worse as the present government.
Before they even say so, if the president has integrity, he ought to have resigned before now. But to me, that's the best way to do. But everything is the hand of the National Assembly. The man deserves to be in peace, because it's no longer serving the Nigeria as a president. He doesn't want to be on seat by now. If Nigeria really know what it takes to be a president and to be a leader, let the first president take over. Maybe he has a deputy. That is the advantage of having a deputy. The president first has already understand the government. Let him continue there.
Although security of lives and properties is paramount to the development of a nation, it is imperative that everyone knows that security is no one man's business. Taiwo Olarewaju, Empire Business Radio News.
The House of Representatives has lamented the rising spate of insecurity in several parts of the country, especially in Benue, Taraba, and Plateau State. This is as members of the House took turns to criticize the action and inaction of the present administration, even as they restated their earlier call for a declaration of emergency on security. The lawmakers also called for the shutdown of the National Assembly, partly blaming the federal parliament for not doing enough in its oversight of the executive arm. In his remarks, the chairman of the House Committee on Navy, Yusuf Gadri, said the first responsibility of the federal government is the security of life and welfare of the people, then any other thing. Gadri lamented that Nigerians are being killed on a daily basis, adding that nowhere is safe. Gadri further lamented that the National Assembly has kept appropriating more funds for the security forces, while nobody is held accountable for the growing insecurity in the nation. On today's edition of People's Forum, Nigerians have faulted the supposed constituency project which elected officers are meant to provide for the people in their constituency as their dividends of democracy. In a chat with IBR's Oluwadamilola Agboluwaje, some concerned citizens called for the provision of projects which are beneficial to the people.
If you see any construction project in any area now, it won't last for even 3 months. And look at the construction project that have been facilitated by the House of Assembly, House of Rep, Senate member. See, they may give the Okada they may give out the tricycle, but what they are giving to people, whenever they call something construction project, it's supposed to be something that will be tangible, that will be for a long time, that will serve and be the benefit of the masses. But all the construction projects that have been facilitated by the federal government and all this National Assembly are not what it is. It's just a way of accumulating wealth for the people in the position of authority. So we prefer, the young masses prefer a good project that will be sustainable for a long time.
It's a good development, but some of our honorables, they don't do it well. As in, at times when the election is coming, they will buy bike that will kick some people. They will buy this clipper. But what I'm after is the provision of water. It is the most adequate thing they should do. But that ball is not enough, according to my own opinion. And I think that there are some of them, they go to the extent of building the classroom for primary school and secondary school to cater for, in order to support universal basic education and TESCOM. So they provide those classrooms for them. Just they build it in their own constituency, in the place that they will suit them. Where they have enough food, they go there. But when they don't have enough food, they will not build anything for them. Despite the fact that they have some people that they vote for them in that area, they will not go there to do it for them.
Last 3 years, let me say 3 or 4 years, talk more like that. We do everything. So everything is wrong. I don't believe them. They just come and do for us. After everything, you don't see them anymore. When campaign starts, we see them running about.
The Academic Staff Union of Universities ASU has warned the federal government against playing politics with the implementation of the University Transparency and Accountability Solution Platform (UTAS) in public universities. Speaking with newsmen after its zonal meeting in Abeokuta, the union accused the Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Alisa Pantami, of playing politics with UTAS. The coordinator of the chapter, Adelaja Odukoya, warned that politicizing the implementation of UTAS will escalate the ongoing strike by the union. Irubi recalled that the union had announced the 2-month extension of its initial 4-week warning strike in March over the federal government's failure to implement the draft renegotiated 2009 agreement and deploy UTAS, the homegrown payment and personal solution in the universities.
Our country is currently bleeding with the activities of bandits and terrorists simply because of lack of education. The political class continue to sow the seeds of insecurity due to the criminal neglect of the education sector. ASU wants to inform the public that the current strike action will not be suspended until government addresses the adoption of UTAS, implement renegotiated agreements, pay all outstanding allowances without prejudice. This is a government that finds it easy and convenient to donate $1 million unsolicited to another country when Nigerian academics, when Nigerian universities are under lock and key. It shows how responsible this government will be. Charity, we were told usually should start at home, but not with this government. And fulfill all other issues contained in the memorandum of action signed with our union.
In another development, a court of appeal in Abuja has lifted the movement restriction on human rights activist and convener of Revolution Now, Omoyele Sowore, who was in 2019 restricted to Abuja by Federal High Court following charges of treasonable felony and cyber stalking the president, among other offenses. In its ruling, the court said Sowore can now leave Abuja but not travel out of the country. Irubi recalled that Sowore was arrested by operatives of the Department of State Service for planning to organize a protest tagged Revolution Now. Over now to Oluwayemisi Okpaodu for more business stories.
In business, the Senate President Ahmed Lawan has warned the cable television providers to halt its decision to hike the tariffs of its products while the matter is under investigation. While speaking, Ahmad cautioned all foreign operators in the country not to take Nigeria for granted or abuse the laws of the country, as Nigeria provides the climate for them to do their businesses. It will be recalled that the Senate had on 30th of March 2022 set up a 7-member ad hoc committee to investigate the tariff hike introduced by the pay television service providers operating in the country. In another news, the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Temipre Silva, says the April 2023 completion date for the rehabilitation of the Port Harcourt refinery is feasible, and the plant will refine 60,000 barrels of crude oil by early next year. Speaking on the state of repairs of the facility, which was projected to go up $1.5 billion, the minister expressed satisfaction on the level of the work. While speaking, the minister vowed that the federal government would put an end to all forms of illegal oil bunkering going on in the Niger Delta, and such criminal activities must not be legalized. And that ends the business segment for today. I am Uluwayemisi Okweodu.
Editorial review for today is next.
The Punch newspaper editorial for today pays close attention to the need for Nigeria to reverse the declining foreign direct investments. According to the National Bureau of Statistics, only $698.7 million came in as foreign direct investments in 2021. The investments brought down the expectation of the country's economy, which is in need of investments to reduce poverty, create jobs, and enhance low public revenue. The paper is of the opinion that the president has paid little or no attention to insecurity, economic downturn, and corruption. This, according to the paper, is why investors flee from the country, as the Buhari-led administration has constantly failed to map out or implement coherent economic recovery plans. It further explained that the foreign exchange market is chaotic, depriving businesses and also degrading Naira, while the operating environment is muddied by consistent energy crisis. On its part, the Vanguard newspaper editorial for today places its focus on the preparation for the coming rains. It is of the opinion that everyone should be concerned about the pattern of the coming rains because of the implications it will have on food security and flooding if there are prolonged rainfalls. It reviewed the Nigerian Meteorological Agency's seasonal climate predictions for February 2022, which warned that though there will be a delayed onset of rainfall in some states, there will be a prolonged raining season in other states. In conclusion, the paper emphasized the importance of caring for the environment and preparing for the rains long before they arrive. That ends the editorial review for today. My name is Olines Ako.
Kenny Bamidele is standing by with stories from the exciting world of sports.
In sport, the Super Eagles of Nigeria will face the El Tri of Mexico in an international friendly game at the AT&T Stadium, Arlington, Texas. The friendly encounter between the two nations was confirmed with a statement on the official social media handle of the Nigeria Football Federation. According to the NFF, the game between Nigeria and Mexico will take place in the United States of America. The friendly fixture comes after Super Eagles of Nigeria were edged by the Black Stars of Ghana to the 2020 FIFA World Cup in Qatar at the MCO Abiola Stadium in Abuja. And NFF President Amutajero finally broke his silence about the Super Eagles' failure to qualify for the World Cup, apologizing to football fans in the world, apologizing to football fans in the country. The Super Eagles will now help Mexico prepare for their World Cup campaign later this year. The game is scheduled to take place at the AT&T Stadium, Arlington, Texas, on the 28th of May 2022. Meanwhile, Rangers boss Giovanni Van Bronckhorst has revealed that defender Calvin Bassey is available for Europa League clash against Sporting Braga tomorrow. Bassey missed the Gels' 4-0 win against St. Mirren on Sunday, and there were fears that the versatile defender could sit out of the Europa League quarter-final second leg clash against the Portuguese side. Van Bronckhorst has, however, provided a positive update on the Nigerian international and two of his teammates. Rangers will also be without top scorer Alfredo Morelos, who missed the rest of the season after undergoing thigh surgery at the beginning of this month. The Scottish Premiership champions will be looking to overturn a 1-goal deficit from the first leg when they welcomed Portuguese side to the Ibrox. In the UEFA Champions League, Manchester City defender Ruben Dias could be available to face Atletico Madrid in the Champions League quarter-final second leg in Spain. Portugal centre-back Dias has travelled with his squad after spending 6 weeks out with a thigh problem. Premier League leaders take a 1-0 advantage to the Wanda Metropolitano, and Guardiola expects the return in Madrid to be so intense. Forward Gabriel Jesus is suspended after receiving his third yellow card of the tournament in last week's win, while young midfielder Cole Palmer will have his foot injury assessed. Atletico did not manage a shot on goal at Etihad Stadium, but Guardiola says the Spanish side are unlikely likely to defend too deep at home. Meanwhile, Ajax boss Erik ten Hag is on the brink of being confirmed as United's new manager. United say no deal has been done, but sources in Netherlands suggest an agreement in principle is in place. The Dutchman will replace Ralf Rangnick, who was appointed interim manager in November following Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's dismissal. Paris Saint-Germain former Tottenham boss Mauricio Pochettino had been the other leading candidate. Official confirmation of Ten Hag's appointment is not expected before Ajax Dutch Cup final against PSV Eindhoven on Sunday. Ajax lead the Eredivisie by 4 points from PSV as they aim to win their third Dutch league title under Ten Hag. They lost to Portuguese side Benfica in the last 16 of the Champions League. And that is all we have for you from the world of sport. I am Kenny Bamidele. Good evening.
Thank you so much, Kenny. On the foreign scene, a senior commander of the Iranian Guard says the killing of all American leaders will not be enough to avenge the United States assassination of Iran's Revolutionary Guard's top commander, Qasem Soleimani, 2 years ago. In a statement, Revolutionary Guard Mohammed Pakpor noted that Soleimani was a great character, that if all American leaders are killed, this will still not avenge his assassination. It will be recalled that the United States and Iran came close to full-blown conflict in year 2020 after Soleimani's killing in a United States drone attack at Baghdad airport. Former United States President Donald Trump's administration said Soleimani was targeted for plotting future attacks on America's interest. President Joe Biden, however, said he aimed to restore peace between both countries. Still on the foreign scene, Russia's defense ministry has announced that more than 1,000 Ukrainian soldiers have surrendered in Mariupol, a strategic port city in eastern Ukraine. The ministry noted that among the troops were 162 officers, 47 women, with more than 100 soldiers wounded. We have more for you on the foreign scene. The United States President Joe Biden has accused Russia of carrying out genocide in Ukraine. Biden for the first time used the word in passing at a domestic policy event in Iowa.
Your ability to fill up your tank, none of it should hinge on whether a dictator declares war and commits genocide half a world away.
Elsewhere, as the Russian-Ukraine war entered its 48th day, the World Trade Organization has raised an alarm about the economic impact of the war. The Director General of the Global Trade Body, Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, said the Russia-Ukraine conflict had darkened prospects for world trade.
The most immediate economic effect of the war has been a sharp spike in the prices of food, energy, fertilizer, and some important minerals, for which Ukraine and Russia are key suppliers to world markets. A potential food crisis is looming. Food and energy prices were already high by historical standards before the war.
The world GDP at market exchange rates is expected to increase by 2.8% this year, but the growth will be lower from the initial forecast. And lastly, a new variant of COVID-19 has been discovered in Botswana. It is believed to be a mutation of the Omicron variant first detected in South Africa late last year. The Botswana Ministry of Health and Wellness is watching a variant called Omicron BA.4 and BA.5, which has already been detected in 3 other countries in 4 people in Botswana. Christopher Nyanga, the Secretary General of the Ministry of Health, said all 4 cases are currently being followed up to gather more information on the potential impact on the spread and severity of the disease. However, he said that the patients are fully vaccinated and that they have only been showing mild symptoms. And to end the news, another look at some of the major items. Since Buhari inaugurate ICPC MPC commissioners to ensure good governance. Inspector General of Police orders mass promotion of all rank-and-file policemen. INEC raises fears ahead of 2023 elections, says 45% of permanent voter cards are invalid. ASU says politicizing UTA's implementation will escalate ongoing strike. And on the foreign scene, we told you that Iran had said the death of all America's leaders is not enough to avenge Soleimani's assassination. For comment, breaking news, happenings around your area, and suggestions, send your report to newsroom@ibr92.5fm.com. You can like us on Facebook, www.facebook.com/ibr95fm, or stream us live on www.ibr95fm.com. You can call or send a text message to 0905 221-3356. The news was produced and edited by Mary Ojo. I am Anuluakbo on Morning. Many thanks for listening. Good night.
It's all about business, entertainment, inspiration, qualitative and informative news, educative program on the go. It's Nigeria's first business radio, Ibr. Impact Business Radio, 92.5 FM. We mean business.